Admiral Veltar's fleet arrived at Earth with enough firepower to crack the planet in half. Planet-killer weapons charged with energy that could boil oceans and melt continents. The entire galaxy watched and waited, but instead of attacking, Veltar did something that shocked everyone. He sent a message to Earth requesting permission to land. "You want to land here?" Captain Lee Dongsu asked over the communication channel. "On the planet you're supposed to destroy? I want to see what you're offering," Veltar replied. "You said you would show me something interesting." Emperor Zixquil's furious voice cut into the transmission. "Admiral Veltar, you will execute your orders immediately." "Your Majesty," Veltar said calmly, "my orders were to solve the Earth problem. I believe I've found a better solution than destruction. There is no better solution." "Destroy them now!" "With respect, Your Majesty, you haven't been in the field. You haven't seen what I've seen. Give me 1 day to show you an alternative." The Emperor's rage was visible even across the galaxy. "1 day. Then you destroy that planet or I'll find someone who will." Veltar landed on Earth with a small security detail. Dr. Park Ji-won met them at the landing site. She wore no weapons and brought no guards. "Welcome to Earth," she said simply. The alien admiral looked around. He expected to see military bases and weapons. Instead, he saw something impossible. Aliens from dozens of conquered species working alongside humans. "How are they here?" he asked. "They came to learn," Ji-won explained. "Some escaped their homeworlds. Others were already traveling when the rebellion started. We welcome anyone who wants to contribute." She led him through the human facility. Engineer Choi Soo-jin was working with crystalline engineers to improve shield technology. The crystals could create barriers that humans had never imagined, while humans showed them how to make the barriers mobile. Pilot Han Min-seok was teaching atmospheric flight to species that had never seen the inside of a planet's atmosphere. In return, they were showing him how to navigate in zero gravity better than any human had before. "You're not conquering them," Veltar observed. "You're learning from them." "Conquest is wasteful," Admiral Yoon Hye-jin said, joining the tour. "It destroys the unique knowledge each species has developed. Cooperation multiplies everyone's capabilities." They brought Veltar to scientist Lim Soo-young's laboratory. She was working with the acoustic masters to develop non-lethal weapons that could disable hegemony ships without killing the crews. "Why non-lethal?" Veltar asked. "Because we want those crews to go home and tell their stories," Soo-young explained. "We want them to know that humans could have killed them, but chose not to. We want them to ask why." The tour continued to Colonel Kim Tae-min's strategic center. The walls showed a map of the galaxy with thousands of communication links between different worlds. "This is the underground web that the Mermech created," Tae-min explained, "but it's grown beyond their original design. 847 conquered species are now sharing information, resources, and technology. This is treason against the hegemony," Veltar said, but his voice lacked conviction. "Is it?" Dongsu asked, entering the room. "Or is it evolution? Your empire has been stagnant for 1,000 years. The same technology, the same tactics, the same thinking. But look at what these species accomplish when they're free to innovate." He showed Veltar the productivity reports. Worlds that had joined the cooperative network were producing more food, better technology, and superior art than they ever had under hegemony rule. "The rebellion isn't just about freedom," Dongsu continued. "It's about progress. Your empire stopped growing because it stopped learning." Veltar studied the data. "These numbers, they can't be accurate. Check them yourself," Ji-won offered. "We've shared all our information with the Hegemony Intelligence Network. Your own analysts can verify everything." As the day progressed, Veltar met refugees from dozens of worlds. Each had a story of how human techniques had helped their species resist hegemony oppression. But more importantly, each had ideas for how to improve those techniques. The aquatic builders from Hydros Prime developed underwater cities using human architectural principles, one refugee explained. But they made the cities mobile. Now the hegemony can't find them to destroy them. The gas giant riders from Zeus IV combined human atmospheric flight with their natural ability to survive in high-pressure environments, said another. They can hide entire fleets inside storm systems. By evening, Veltar was quiet and thoughtful. Dongsu found him sitting alone, looking up at the stars. "Your day is almost over," Dongsu said. "Have you decided what to do?" "I've been a soldier for 3 centuries, Veltar replied. "I've conquered 42 worlds.
I've never questioned whether it was right or wrong.
It was just my duty. And now? Now I've seen what those worlds could have become if we had worked with them instead of conquering them. He turned to look at Dongsu. Your species has a saying, "What have you done?" But you should ask, what could you have done? Veltar stood up and activated his communicator. The transmission went out on all frequencies, reaching every ship in his fleet and every world in the galaxy. Emperor Zixquil, he said formally, I have completed my evaluation of the Earth situation. Finally, the Emperor's voice boomed. Destroy them! I respectfully decline. The silence that followed lasted for several seconds. When the Emperor spoke again, his voice was deadly quiet. You refuse a direct order? I refuse an order that would make the hegemony weaker. Destroying Earth would eliminate the most innovative military development in galactic history. It would waste resources that could benefit the Empire. You're talking about rebellion. I'm talking about evolution. Your Majesty, I formally request permission to negotiate a cooperation agreement with Earth and its allied species. Never, but other voices cut into the transmission. Hegemony fleet commanders, planetary governors, even some High Council members. They had been listening to the broadcasts from Earth. They had seen the productivity reports. They had watched their own conquered worlds become more valuable when treated as partners instead of slaves. Your Majesty, said Fleet Admiral Korath, perhaps we should consider Admiral Veltar's recommendation. The rebellion is spreading, added Planetary Governor Vextus. Traditional suppression methods are failing. We need new approaches. The Emperor's fury was magnificent and terrible. You're all traitors. I'll have you all executed. Your Majesty, came a new voice. It was the Emperor's own nephew, Prince Thylos, speaking from the High Council chambers. The Council has voted. You are removed from power, effective immediately. The galactic coup was swift and largely bloodless. The old guard who had ruled through fear found themselves outnumbered by pragmatists who could see the writing on the wall. 1 year later, Captain Li Dongsu stood before the first meeting of the Galactic Cooperative Council. Representatives from over 1,000 worlds filled the massive chamber that had once housed the Hegemony High Command. Admiral Veltar, now serving as the Cooperative's first Minister of Defense, called for order. The first item of business, he announced, is the formal recognition of humanity as a founding member of the Galactic Cooperative. The vote was unanimous. Dr. Park Ji-won, now the Director of Interspecies Communication, addressed the Assembly. A year ago, 847 species lived in fear. Today, those same species are teaching the galaxy new ways to solve old problems. Engineer Choi Soo-jin had been promoted to Chief of Cooperative Technology Development. Her latest project involved crystalline barrier technology, acoustic master sound weapons, and human engineering principles to create ships that could explore previously unreachable parts of the galaxy. The universe is bigger than any of us imagined, she told the Council. But working together, we can explore all of it. Admiral Yoon Hee-jin commanded the Cooperative Defense Force, which operated on principles radically different from the old hegemony military. Instead of conquest, they focused on protection. Instead of fear, they used cooperation. We've had no major conflicts in the past 6 months, she reported. Not because we're stronger than the old hegemony, but because we're solving problems before they become conflicts. As the session ended, Dongsu walked with Veltar through the corridors of what had once been the symbol of galactic oppression. Do you ever regret it? Dongsu asked. Giving up your empire? Veltar considered the question. The hegemony wasn't really an empire. It was a collection agency. We collected planets but never made them better. The cooperative is different. We're actually building something. And if the humans had never resisted, if we had just surrendered like the others, then the galaxy would still be stagnant, still afraid, still small. Veltar stopped walking and looked at his human friend. You didn't just save your planet. You saved all of us from a future where nothing ever changed. Dongsu smiled. We didn't save anyone. We just laughed at a bully and invited everyone else to laugh with us. And that, Veltar said, was exactly what the galaxy needed to hear. News of the Earth battle spread across the galaxy faster than the hegemony could control it. On 847 conquered worlds, beings who had lived in fear for generations heard something. Impossible. Humans were winning. Dr. Park Ji-won monitored the TUR communication networks from her station on Earth. Every day brought new messages from alien species she had never heard of. The Sitari waterworlds are flooding. Hegemony mining stations, she reported to Captain Lee Dong-soo. They're using human-inspired tactics. Instead of direct attacks, they're making the stations too expensive to operate. How? They're redirecting underwater currents to fill the mines with sediment. The hegemony has to choose between abandoning the mines or spending more money cleaning them than the mines' produce. On the screen, she showed him reports from dozens of worlds. The Myrmec insect colonies have created something they call the underground web. They're sharing information between planets using methods the hegemony can't detect. Each rebellion was small, but together they created a massive problem for the hegemony. Supply lines were disrupted. Communication networks were jammed. Entire sectors were becoming unreliable. Engineer Choi Soo-jin received a message that made her laugh with joy. The Zephyrians on the Windworld Eros are building flying machines based on our fighter designs, she told her team. But they're making them better. Look at this. The alien engineers had improved on human technology, creating ships that could fly through gas giant atmospheres like fish swimming through water. They were sharing these designs with other species. We taught them to think differently, Soo-jin realized. Now they're teaching each other. Admiral Yoon Hye-jin was coordinating with alien military leaders across the galaxy. The Crystalline Collective on Quartza Prime has offered to share their shield technology, she informed the Earth Command. In return, they want our stealth designs. It's not just rebellion anymore, Colonel Kim Taemin observed. It's cooperation. The conquered species are working together for the first time in history. The hegemony leadership was in panic. Emperor Zixquil called an emergency session of the High Council. The emperor was ancient even by alien standards and had never faced a threat to his rule. How can one primitive planet cause this much chaos? He demanded. It's not just one planet, Your Majesty, replied Intelligence Minister Grath. The humans have become a symbol. Every conquered species sees them as proof that the hegemony can be resisted. Admiral Veltar attended the meeting via communication link from his fleet above Earth. His ships were still there, but the battle had become a stalemate. Neither side could defeat the other quickly. The humans are unlike any enemy we've faced, he reported. They don't fight to win. They fight to teach. Every battle teaches other species how to resist us. Then destroy them, the Emperor shouted. Use the planet-killer weapons. Your Majesty, Veltar said carefully. If we destroy Earth, we make them martyrs. Every species in the galaxy will know we had to use our ultimate weapons to defeat one small planet. It will make us look weak. The Emperor's advisors murmured agreement. The hegemony's power was based on the belief that resistance was impossible. If they had to destroy entire worlds to stop rebellion, that belief would crumble. On Earth, pilot Han Min-seok was training alien volunteers. Refugees from conquered worlds had somehow reached Earth, and they wanted to learn human combat techniques. Forget what you know about your own bodies, he told a group of flying aliens from the mountain world Eris. You think you know how to fly because you have wings, but watch this. He showed them videos of human pilots doing impossible maneuvers in gravity and atmosphere. We don't have wings, so we had to learn different ways to control movement. Try thinking like a human. The alien pilots practiced the techniques and discovered they could fly in ways they had never imagined. Soon they were teaching other alien pilots, who taught others. Scientist Lim Soo-young received a breakthrough. Transmission from the acoustic masters of resonance. Primate, they figured out how to use sound as a weapon against hegemony ships, she announced excitedly. They can make the metal hulls vibrate until critical systems fail. Are they sharing this technology? With everyone. The humans taught them that knowledge should be free. The most important development came from an unexpected source. Admiral Veltar himself sent a secret message to Captain Lee Dong-soo. I want to talk, the message said. Privately, Dong-soo and his team debated whether to trust the alien admiral. It could be a trap, Taemin warned. Or it could be an opportunity, Ji-won suggested. He's been fighting us for weeks. Maybe he's learned something. They agreed to meet in neutral space, with both leaders bringing small escort ships. Veltar's ship was elegant but practical, built for war rather than show. When the two commanders met face to face, Dong-soo was surprised by what he saw in the alien's eyes. You're tired, Dong-soo observed. I'm old, Veltar replied. I've been a soldier for 300 years. But I've never been in a real war until now. How does it feel? Terrible. And wonderful. The alien admiral looked confused by his own words. My crew is exhausted. We've lost many ships. The hegemony wants me to destroy your world, but this is the first time in my career that I've respected my enemy. Your people fight with honor. You don't torture prisoners. You don't target civilians. You could have destroyed my flagship twice, but you disabled it instead. Dongsu nodded. We're not trying to destroy the hegemony. We're trying to change it into what? Something better. Look at what's happening across the galaxy. Species are cooperating instead of just obeying. They're innovating instead of just following orders. They're becoming stronger. Veltar was quiet for a long moment. The Emperor wants me to use planet-killer weapons on Earth. Will you? If I refuse, he'll send someone else who will. Someone who won't care about honor or civilians. Dongsu smiled. Then don't refuse. Accept the order. What? Accept the order to use planet killers. Then come to Earth and we'll show you something interesting. Admiral Yoon Hye-jin received Veltar's official response to the Emperor. I will implement final solution against Earth, preparing planet killer deployment. Is Dongsu crazy? She asked Jiwon. Why would we invite them to destroy us? Because, Jiwon said, studying the communication patterns across the galaxy, the entire galaxy is watching. 847 conquered species and dozens of hegemony member species are monitoring this situation. So when Veltar arrives with planet-killer weapons and doesn't use them, everyone will know that even the hegemony's best admiral thinks there's a better way. The plan was incredibly risky. If Veltar decided to follow his orders, Earth would be destroyed. But if he didn't, the hegemony would lose its most important tool: fear. As Veltar's reinforced fleet approached Earth with the massive planet-killer ships, every being in the galaxy waited to see what would happen. On Earth, the humans prepared for the most important gamble in their history. They weren't just betting their lives. They were betting on the idea that even enemies could learn to be better. Admiral Veltar gave the order to attack. His massive ships opened fire on Earth with energy beams that could melt mountains. The beams hit their targets perfectly. But instead of destroying human cities, they hit empty fields and fake buildings. Where are their real targets? Veltar demanded. Sir, the humans evacuated their important locations days ago, his sensor officer reported. What we're hitting are decoys. While the alien ships wasted their energy on fake targets, the real battle began. It started with something the aliens had never seen before. Pilot Han Min-seok led a squadron of human fighters in an attack run, but instead of flying straight at the enemy ships like normal space fighters, they did something impossible. They flew in spirals, loops, and figure eights, moving like birds in the wind. The alien gunners couldn't hit them. They had trained to shoot at targets that flew in straight lines. Human pilots twisted and danced through space like they were performing an air show. How are they moving like that? An alien pilot asked over the radio. I don't know, his commander replied. Our ships can't turn that fast. Min-seok smiled inside his cockpit. The aliens had built their ships for space travel, but humans had learned to fly in Earth's atmosphere first. They knew how to use gravity, momentum, and centrifugal force. In space, these skills made them impossible to catch. His fighters swooped past the alien ships, firing small missiles that seemed too tiny to matter. But these weren't normal missiles. Engineer Choi Soo-jin had designed them to target specific weak points she had identified in the alien ship designs. The missiles slipped through gaps in the alien shields and hit critical systems. Weapons went offline. Engines stopped working. Communication arrays exploded. Minimal damage but maximum disruption, Soo-jin had explained when she designed them. We don't need to destroy their ships. We just need to break them. From hidden positions throughout the solar system, Colonel Kim Taemin's plan unfolded. Bases on asteroids that the aliens didn't know existed suddenly came alive. Weapons platforms disguised as space debris opened fire. The aliens found themselves under attack from all directions. They had expected to fight one planet. Instead, they were fighting an entire solar system. Sir, we're taking fire from behind, reported an alien tactical officer. Impossible, Veltar said. There's nothing behind us but empty space. The space isn't empty, sir. They have weapons hidden everywhere. But the strangest attack came from scientist Lim Soo-young's laboratory. She had spent days studying alien biology and psychology. She discovered that certain sound frequencies caused discomfort in alien nervous systems. Human ships began broadcasting these frequencies along with their music. Alien crews started feeling sick and confused. Their reaction time slowed. Some couldn't concentrate on their duties. It's psychological warfare, Su Young explained to her team. They're used to frightening their enemies. They don't know how to handle being frightened themselves. The human tactics were unlike anything in alien military history. They used garbage as weapons, launching old satellites and space junk at alien ships with magnetic accelerators. The aliens' energy shield stopped energy, but they couldn't stop solid objects moving at high speed. Sujin had prepared her masterpiece, ships that looked like damaged hulks, but were actually sophisticated weapons platforms. When alien ships approached to investigate these wrecks, powerful weapons emerged from hidden compartments. "Sir, that damaged ship just destroyed 3 of our fighters," an alien reported. "How can a damaged ship fire weapons?" "It wasn't actually damaged, sir. It was pretending." Veltar was learning that humans were masters of deception. Nothing was what it seemed. Ships that looked powerful were decoys. Ships that looked destroyed were traps. Attacks came from directions that should have been empty. Dr. Park Ji-won coordinated the information warfare. Every alien communication was being monitored and analyzed. The humans learned alien codes faster than the aliens could change them. "They're using our own communication network against us," an alien intelligence officer reported. "They're intercepting our orders and counterattacking before we can execute our plans." The battle that was supposed to last hours stretched into days. The aliens, who had expected easy victory, found themselves fighting for their lives. Captain Lee Dong-soo commanded the defense from Earth's orbital station. He watched the battle unfold with satisfaction. Everything was going according to plan. "Status report," he requested. "Alien casualties, 43 ships disabled, 16 destroyed," his tactical officer reported. "Human casualties, 2 fighters damaged, no major losses." Admiral Yoon Hee-jin joined him on the command deck. "They're starting to retreat," she observed. "Not retreating," Dong-soo corrected. "Regrouping. They're learning." "That's good. Good. If they were stupid, this would be too easy. But they're adapting. That means they're worthy opponents." The aliens were indeed learning. Veltar had called for reinforcements and was implementing new tactics based on human methods. But every time they adapted, the humans changed their strategy. When the aliens spread out their formation, humans used concentrated attacks on single ships. When the aliens concentrated their forces, humans attacked from multiple directions. When the aliens tried to copy human maneuvers, humans changed to completely different tactics. "It's like fighting smoke," an alien commander complained. "Every time we think we understand them, they become something else." The most devastating human weapon wasn't physical. It was Hope Ji-won's broadcast to conquered alien species were having an effect. Reports came in from across the galaxy. Rebellions were starting on dozens of worlds. The hegemony was facing uprisings for the first time in centuries. "This isn't just about Earth anymore," she told Dong-soo. "We've started something bigger." "That was always the plan," he replied. "One planet can't defeat a galactic empire, but an idea can." As the battle continued, more alien species joined the communication network. They shared intelligence about hegemony weaknesses. They coordinated attacks on supply lines. They spread the human message: bullies can be beaten. Veltar received urgent messages from Hegemony High Command. "Contain the situation immediately," his orders read. "The rebellion is spreading. If Earth succeeds, the entire empire is at risk." He looked at the tactical display. His fleet was larger than the human forces, but the humans were winning. Not through superior firepower, but through superior thinking. "Sir," his communications officer said nervously, "we're receiving another human transmission. Put it through." Dong-soo appeared on the screen, smiling. "Admiral Veltar, how are you enjoying your first real battle?" "This isn't over, human. Of course not. We're just getting started. But I want to ask you something. Are you having fun yet?" Veltar didn't understand the question. "This is what fighting feels like," Dong-soo continued. "Not bullying. Not threatening. Fighting. Your empire has been collecting planets for 1,000 years, but you've never actually won a battle. How does it feel to finally have a real challenge?" The transmission ended, leaving Veltar with an uncomfortable thought. Despite the losses, despite the chaos, despite the fear, part of him was enjoying this. For the first time in his military career, he was in a real fight. The next morning, Admiral Veltar expected to see white flags. Instead, he received something that made no sense. The humans were broadcasting on all frequencies. Every ship in his fleet could hear it. Worse, other alien species across the galaxy were listening too. "This is Captain Lee Dong-Soo of Earth Defense," the transmission began. "We want to thank the Galactic Hegemony for this learning opportunity. We've studied your fleet and found several areas for improvement." Engineer Choi Soo-jin appeared on screen next to Dong-Soo. "First, your ship formation. You're flying in a straight line. This makes you easy targets. We suggest spreading out more. Also, your biggest ships are in front. That's like putting your strongest soldiers where everyone can see them. Try hiding them behind smaller ships." Admiral Yoon Hye-jin joined the broadcast. She was the leader of all Earth space forces. "Your weapons are mounted on the outside of your ships. One good hit and they'll be destroyed. Human ships hide weapons inside armor. Much safer." Veltar couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Are they giving us military advice?" His second officer nodded. "It appears so, sir." The broadcast continued. Pilot Han Min-seok came on screen. He was Earth's best fighter pilot. "Your small ships fly like they're underwater. Too slow, too predictable. Watch this." The screen showed human fighter ships moving around the alien fleet. They twisted and turned in ways that made no sense. They flew up, down, sideways, even backwards. The alien pilots tried to follow but couldn't keep up, "See?" Min-seok said. "Your pilots think in straight lines. Space has no up or down. Use all directions." Scientist Lim Soo-young appeared next. "Your shields are interesting but flawed. They stop energy weapons but not solid objects. We could throw rocks at you and they'd go right through." Admiral Veltar was getting angry. "This is an insult. They're mocking us." But his science officer looked worried. "Sir, they're right about the shields. We never thought about solid projectiles." The human broadcast wasn't finished. Dr. Park Ji-won came on screen. "We studied your history. You've conquered 847 species, but you never fought any of them. They all surrendered before the battle started." "This means you have no real combat experience," Colonel Kim Tae-min added. "Your tactics are untested. Your strategies are theoretical. You've never had to adapt or improvise." Dong-Soo returned to the screen. "We're not trying to insult you. We're trying to understand you. Why do you conquer peaceful species? What's the point? You're not getting stronger. You're just collecting scared planets." The transmission ended with something even more confusing. The humans started broadcasting music. Strange sounds filled the alien communication channels. It was loud and chaotic and made the aliens feel uncomfortable. "What is that noise?" Veltar demanded. "They call it rock music," his communication officer said. "It's interfering with our neural networks. The crew is getting headaches." On Earth, the human leaders were busy. They weren't just talking. They were preparing. Soo-jin worked in her engineering bay. She was building new types of ships. Some looked like space junk but had powerful weapons hidden inside. Others were tiny but fast, designed to confuse enemy targeting systems. "The aliens expect us to fight like they do," she told her team. "Big ships in formation, energy weapons, traditional tactics. So we'll do the opposite." Min-seok was training pilots in new techniques. "Forget everything you know about space combat," he told them. "These aliens have never seen atmospheric flight. They don't understand wind resistance or gravity wells. We'll use that against them." In her laboratory, Soo-young was creating unusual weapons. "Energy shields stop energy," she explained to her assistants. "But what about sound? What about light? What about things that aren't meant to be weapons?" Taemin was coordinating with hidden bases throughout the solar system. Humans had been building secret installations for decades. The aliens knew about Earth and Mars, but they had no idea about the bases on asteroids, moons, and space stations. "When they attack," he told the base commanders, "don't help Earth directly. Wait until they're focused on us, then hit them from behind." The most important work was being done by Ji-won. She wasn't building weapons or training soldiers. She was talking to aliens, not the hegemony aliens, other aliens, the conquered ones. "We know you're listening," she broadcast on hidden frequencies. "We know you're scared. But look what we're doing. We're not afraid of them. You don't have to be either." Responses came slowly at first. A few signals from distant planets. Messages hidden in star charts and shipping manifests. Alien species that had been conquered years ago were starting to talk. "Is it true?" one message asked.
Are you really fighting them?
"We're doing more than fighting," Ji-won replied. "We're showing them they can be beaten. and we're sharing everything we learn. The Galactic Hegemony tried to stop these communications, but the humans were clever. They hid messages in music and mathematical equations and star maps. They used the hegemony's own communication networks against them. Admiral Veltar called an emergency meeting with his commanders. "This is unacceptable," he said. "They're making us look foolish." "Sir," his tactical officer said carefully, "some of their suggestions were accurate. Our formation could be improved. You're not suggesting we take advice from primitives?" "No, sir. But maybe we should consider that they might actually fight. Our plans assumed they would surrender." Veltar looked at the reports. 3 conquered species had already tried small rebellions. Nothing serious, but it was starting. If word spread that humans could resist the hegemony, "Prepare the fleet for immediate attack," he ordered. "We end this now before it gets worse." But as his ships moved into attack formation, they found something unexpected. The human ships weren't running. They weren't hiding. They were waiting, and they were laughing. The laughter came over every communication channel. Not scared laughter or crazy laughter. Happy laughter. The kind of laughter that comes when someone is about to do something they enjoy. "What are they laughing about?" Veltar demanded. His sensor officer checked his instruments.
Sir, I'm reading massive energy signatures throughout the solar system.
"There are hidden installations everywhere. And, sir, their ships aren't where we thought they were." "What do you mean?" "Half of what we thought were human ships are just decoys. Empty hulls broadcasting fake signals. The real ships are... I can't find them all." Veltar felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries. Doubt. On Earth, Dongsu watched the alien fleet begin its attack. His team stood around him, calm and ready. "Remember," he told them, "they've never had to fight anyone who fought back. They don't know how to handle resistance, so let's give them something to resist." Yoon Hee-jin opened the communication channel one last time. "Admiral Veltar, last chance to reconsider. You could learn a lot from this experience, or you could just embarrass yourself in front of the whole galaxy. Your choice," Dongsu added, "but either way, it's going to be educational." Captain Lee Dongsu was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm started. He put down his cup and looked at the screens around him. Giant ships were floating above Earth. They were bigger than any ship humans had ever built. "Sir, we have incoming transmission," said his officer. "It's from the alien ships." Dongsu nodded. "Put it on the main screen." A tall lizard-like creature appeared on the screen. It had green scales and yellow eyes. It wore a fancy uniform with many symbols. The creature looked angry. "I am Admiral Veltar of the Galactic Hegemony," the alien said. Its voice was deep and scary. "Your planet is now under our control. You will surrender in 72 hours or we will destroy you completely." The alien continued talking. "We have conquered 847 species. All of them tried to fight us. All of them failed. You are nothing special. Submit now and some of you might live as our slaves." The transmission ended. The bridge was quiet. Everyone looked scared. Dr. Park Ji-won came running into the control room. She was the best scientist on Earth who studied aliens. "Did you record that message?" she asked. "Yes," Dongsu said. "What do you think?" Ji-won sat down at a computer. She started typing fast. "Give me a few hours. I want to study their ships and their message." Colonel Kim Taemin walked in. He was the best military planner Earth had. "How many ships do they have?" he asked. 200, said an officer. "Each one is 10 times bigger than our largest ship." Taemin whistled. "That's a lot of firepower." Engineer Choi Soo-jin was already working on her tablet. She was the smartest person when it came to building ships. "I'm scanning their vessels," she said. "Something seems wrong with their design." Hours passed. The alien ships just floated there, waiting. People on Earth were scared. The news showed crowds of people crying and praying. World leaders called emergency meetings. Ji-won came back with her report. "I found something interesting," she said. "These aliens have been conquering planets for 1,000 years. But look at this data." She showed them a chart. Every single species they conquered gave up without a real fight. Most surrendered within days. The longest resistance lasted only 3 weeks. "What does that mean?" Dongsu asked. "It means they've never fought a real war," Ji-won explained. "They just show up, threaten people, and everyone gives up. They don't know how to handle actual fighting." Soo-jin looked up from her tablet. "That explains their ship design. These vessels are built for show, not for battle. Look at this." She pointed to her screen. Their weapons are in the wrong places. Their shields have huge gaps. Their engines are too slow for real combat. Taemin studied the data. It's like they built their ships to scare people, not to fight. Exactly, Sujin said. They've been bullying weak civilizations for so long they forgot how to handle someone who fights back. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Dong-Su started laughing. Sir? His officer asked. Are you okay? Don't you see? Dong-Su said. They just told us their biggest weakness. They said they conquered 847 species who didn't fight back. That's not conquest. That's just being a bully, Ji-won smiled. And humans hate bullies. World leaders wanted to surrender. They called Dong-Su and begged him to give up. We can't fight them, the president said. They have too many ships. Have you looked at their ships? Dong-Su asked. Really looked at them? What do you mean? Sujin took over the call. Mr. President, their ships are floating in perfect formation. They're not moving. They're not scanning for threats. They're just sitting there like targets. They expect us to give up, Taemin added. They've never had to fight a real battle. They don't even know how. The president was quiet. But what if you're wrong? What if they really can destroy us? Then we'll make them work for it, Dong-Su said. But I don't think they can. I think they're all show and no substance. With 6 hours left before the deadline, Earth's leaders made their choice. They would not surrender. Dong-Su prepared a response message. The whole team helped write it. When they were done, they sent it to the alien fleet. Admiral Veltar appeared on screen again. He looked confident. Have you decided to surrender? We got your message, Dong-Su said. Thank you for the warning. We'll be ready. The alien's face changed. You'll be ready? Ready for what? Ready for you, Dong-Su said calmly. We studied your ships. We analyzed your tactics. We looked at your history. You've done a good job scaring people who don't fight back, but we're not them. You dare threaten the galactic hegemony? We're not threatening you, Ji-won said, stepping into view. We're offering advice. Your ship formation is terrible. Your weapons placement is wrong. Your strategy is predictable. If you really want to conquer us, you should fix these problems first. Sujin joined them. Also, your engines are too slow. We could fly circles around you. And your shields? They have gaps big enough to fly a ship through. Veltar's face turned darker green. You mock us? We're trying to help, Taemin said. You told us you conquered 847 species. But those weren't conquests. Those were surrenders. There's a difference. We specialize in fighting bullies. You will regret this, Veltar said. Maybe, Dong-Su said. But at least we'll make it interesting. See you tomorrow. He cut the transmission. The bridge was quiet again. Then someone started clapping. Soon everyone was clapping and cheering. Sir, an officer said. What if we're wrong? What if they really are strong? Dong-Su looked out at the alien ships. They still hadn't moved. Then we'll learn something new. But I don't think we're wrong. Those ships are built for intimidation, not war. And intimidation only works on people who are already scared. Are you scared, sir? The officer asked. Dong-Su smiled. I'm excited. Do you know how long it's been since humanity had a real challenge? These aliens just gave us the best gift possible. What's that? A chance to show the galaxy what humans can do when someone tries to push us around. Outside, the alien ships continued floating in their perfect formation, waiting for morning to begin their attack. They had no idea what was coming,